Kegworth Air Disaster, the fatal engine shutdown that shook aviation. A chilling mistake, a desperate flight, and the haunting legacy of 126 lives hanging by a thread. This is the Kegworth Air Disaster. January 8, 1989, a date that would soon be etched into the annals of aviation history. British Midland Flight 92, a cutting-edge Boeing 737-400, prepared for takeoff at London Heathrow. This aircraft, known for its advanced technology and reliability, was the pride of British Midland's fleet. Its destination, Belfast International Airport. The flight was a routine shuttle, a journey that had been made countless times before without incident. Among the 118 passengers were business professionals, eager tourists, and families on a routine flight. Each passenger had their own story, their own reason for being on that flight. Some were heading home, others were embarking on new adventures. Accompanying them were 8 crew members led by 2 seasoned pilots, Captain Kevin Hunt and First Officer David McClelland. Both pilots had years of experience and were well respected in the aviation community. The crew, trained to ensure the safety and comfort of the passengers, went about their duties with practiced efficiency. All seemed perfectly ordinary, but in less than an hour, their fate would be sealed in aviation history. The flight that began as a routine journey would soon face an unexpected and dramatic turn of events, testing the skills and resilience of everyone on board. The calm before the storm was deceptive, as the passengers and crew settled in for what they believed would be an uneventful flight. Little did they know, the skies ahead held a challenge that would push them to their limits and leave an indelible mark on the history of aviation. The plane took off into the crisp winter evening, its engines roaring with power. Passengers relaxed into their seats, oblivious to the unseen cracks, both literal and metaphorical, that would soon lead to catastrophe. In the cockpit, the crew monitored the new aircraft confidently, trusting its advanced systems to deliver a smooth journey. But somewhere in the left engine, disaster was already in motion. Minutes into the flight, passengers felt a sudden jarring vibration. The once calm and serene atmosphere inside the airplane cabin quickly turned into one of anxiety and fear. People exchanged worried glances, their faces reflecting the uncertainty of the situation. The flight attendants, usually a source of comfort, were now visibly tense, trying to maintain composure while ensuring the passengers' safety. A deafening bang echoed through the cabin, louder than anything the passengers had ever heard on a flight. It was as if the very heart of the aircraft had exploded. The noise was so intense that it seemed to reverberate through every seat, every panel, and every soul on board. The suddenness of the sound left everyone in a state of shock, their minds racing to comprehend what had just happened. Smoke seeped in, and oxygen masks dropped, fueling panic. The sight of the masks dangling from the ceiling was a stark reminder of the gravity of the situation. Passengers fumbled to put them on, their hands shaking with fear. The cabin, now filled with a thin haze of smoke, made it difficult to see clearly, adding to the chaos. The acrid smell of burning filled the air, making it hard to breathe and think clearly. Little did the passengers know, a fan blade in the left engine had disintegrated, causing a cascade of damage. The intricate machinery that kept the plane aloft was now compromised. The disintegration of the fan blade sent shards of metal flying, damaging other critical components of the engine. This catastrophic failure was not just a mechanical issue, it was a life-threatening emergency that required immediate action. In the cockpit, the pilots, relying on cockpit instruments, believed the right engine was the source of the problem. The array of blinking lights and warning signals on the control panel added to the confusion. The pilots, trained for such emergencies, were now faced with a puzzle that needed solving in seconds. Their experience and training were put to the ultimate test as they tried to diagnose the issue amidst the cacophony of alarms. In a critical decision, they shut it down, unknowingly leaving the failing left engine as their only power source. This decision, made in the heat of the moment, was based on the best information they had. However, it inadvertently left the aircraft in an even more precarious situation. The left engine, now the sole provider of thrust, was already compromised and struggling to function. The pilots, unaware of the true nature of the problem, were now navigating a perilous path, relying on their skills and the hope that they could safely land the aircraft. Now flying on a damaged engine, Flight 92 began its desperate diversion to East Midlands Airport. Tension gripped the cabin as the aircraft shuddered violently. Below them, the tranquil village of Kegworth had no idea what was descending from the skies. As the pilots struggled to keep control, the crippled left engine finally gave out. The plane plummeted, its fate sealed. At 8:24 p.m., Flight 92 slammed into the M1 motorway embankment near Kegworth. The impact was catastrophic, metal ripped apart and the fuselage fractured. Fires ignited, illuminating the darkness with horrifying flames. Miraculously, the motorway was sparsely populated, sparing lives on the ground. But on board, the scene was one of devastation. 47 people perished, while 74 others emerged with life-threatening injuries. The rescue effort was swift, yet harrowing. Emergency workers pulled survivors from the wreckage, many too injured to move. Hospitals were overwhelmed as victims fought for their lives. Survivors described the crash as an unthinkable nightmare, a moment that would haunt them forever. For many, life would never be the same. The investigation revealed the unthinkable. The pilots had shut down the only functional engine. This catastrophic error was a result of a series of unfortunate events and misjudgments that began long before the flight took off. The investigation team meticulously combed through the wreckage, piecing together the sequence of events that led to the disaster. Misleading cockpit instruments and inadequate training were major factors. The pilots were faced with conflicting information from their instruments, which led to a critical misinterpretation of the situation. Their training had not adequately prepared them for such a scenario, leaving them ill-equipped to handle the emergency. Additionally, the Boeing 737-400's engine design flaws came under scrutiny. The design of the aircraft's engines made it difficult for the pilots to accurately diagnose the problem. Engineers and investigators worked tirelessly to identify these flaws and understand how they contributed to the accident. This disaster led to sweeping changes, stricter pilot training, improved engine monitoring systems, and design overhauls across aviation fleets. The aviation industry recognized the need for more comprehensive training programs that would better prepare pilots for emergency situations. Additionally, advancements in technology allowed for the development of more reliable and accurate engine monitoring systems. British Midland Flight 92's tragic legacy would save countless future lives. The lessons learned from this disaster prompted significant improvements in aviation safety standards, ensuring that such a tragedy would not be repeated. The memory of those who lost their lives serves as a constant reminder of the importance of vigilance and continuous improvement in the field of aviation safety. Gap 3S, the legacy of Kegworth: how aviation changed forever. In the years following the Kegworth Air Disaster, the aviation industry underwent significant changes. New regulations were introduced, and safety protocols were enhanced. Pilots received better training, and aircraft designs were improved to prevent similar tragedies. The legacy of Kegworth is a testament to the resilience and determination of the aviation community to learn from past mistakes and ensure the safety of future flights. This disaster ignited a movement towards a safer and more reliable air travel experience, showcasing the industry's commitment to protecting lives. From the ashes of tragedy rose a beacon of hope and progress. Gap 2S. The Kegworth Air Disaster is not just a tale of mechanical failure and regulatory change, but also one of human endurance and resilience. Survivors of the crash have shared their harrowing experiences and the profound impact it had on their lives. Their stories are a powerful reminder of the human cost of aviation accidents and the importance of continuous improvement in safety measures. Gap 2S. One survivor recalls the moment of impact, describing the chaos and confusion that followed. Another speaks of the long road to physical and emotional recovery, highlighting the strength it took to rebuild their life. These personal accounts have not only been a source of inspiration, but have also played a crucial role in shaping the changes that followed the disaster. Gap 2S. Their voices echo the need for vigilance and compassion in the face of tragedy, underscoring the aviation community's commitment to learning and evolving. The stories of the Kegworth survivors serve as a poignant testament to the human spirit's ability to endure and overcome, ensuring that the lessons learned are never forgotten. Gap 2S. The investigation into the Kegworth Air Disaster was thorough and revealed critical flaws in the aircraft's design and the training of the pilots. Gap 2S. The findings led to significant changes in the industry, including the redesign of certain aircraft components and the implementation of more rigorous training programs for pilots. GAP-2S. Investigators meticulously pieced together the sequence of events, analyzing flight data, cockpit voice recordings, and the wreckage itself. GAP-2S. Their work uncovered a series of errors and misjudgments that culminated in the tragic crash. GAP-2S. One of the primary issues identified was the miscommunication and confusion among the flight crew, exacerbated by the aircraft's design flaws. GAP-2S. This revelation prompted a re-evaluation of cockpit resource management and the development of more effective communication protocols. GAP-2S. The investigation's conclusions have had a lasting impact on aviation safety, driving home the importance of rigorous training and continuous improvement in aircraft design. GAP-2S. The legacy of these findings is a testament to the relentless pursuit of safer skies, ensuring that such a tragedy is never repeated. GAP-2S. In the years since the disaster, memorials and tributes have been established to honor the victims of the Kegworth Air Disaster. GAP-2S. These memorials serve as a reminder of the lives lost and the importance of ongoing efforts to improve aviation safety. GAP-2S. The community's response to the tragedy has been one of resilience and determination to ensure that such a disaster never happens again. GAP-2S. Families, friends, and aviation professionals gather annually to pay their respects, reflecting on the lessons learned and the lives forever changed. GAP-2S. The legacy of Kegworth is not only found in the changes to aviation protocols but also in the enduring spirit of those who continue to honor the memory of the victims. GAP-2S. Through these memorials, the story of Kegworth is kept alive, serving as a poignant reminder of the cost of complacency and the perpetual need for vigilance in aviation safety. GAP-2S. The lessons learned from the Kegworth Air Disaster have had a profound impact on modern aviation. GAP-2S. The changes implemented as a result of the disaster have made flying safer for everyone. GAP-2S. Enhanced training for flight crews, improved aircraft design, and more rigorous safety protocols have all stemmed from the hard-earned lessons of Kegworth. GAP-2S. The legacy of Kegworth is a testament to the importance of learning from past mistakes and continuously striving to improve safety in the aviation industry. GAP-2S. Today, every flight is a reminder of the lives lost and the crucial advancements that have made air travel one of the safest modes of transportation. GAP-2S. The Kegworth Air Disaster may have been a tragedy, but it has also been a driving force for progress and vigilance in aviation safety. The Kegworth Air Disaster remains a chilling tale of how a single error can ripple into tragedy. Yet, from its wreckage arose lessons that reshaped aviation safety forever. A tragedy, but also a turning point.